Two Button Crew.
Your daily Nintendo dose of Nintendo fandom.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Simeon.
And we're joined by special guests today, James and William of 8-Bit Evolution. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
For having us.
All right.
Absolutely.
So, who are each of you individually, and then what do you do in the company?
I'm James. I'm from Steph, Video Game Club. And this is Will. Said I'm Will. Business development, marketing, also an idea person, Sega Saturn enthusiast.
Yes, you and Simeon were bonding over the Saturn.
Oh, yes.
Basically best friends already, so we're off to a great start.
Guys, man, it's like a secret handshake involved. Like no small amount of Japanese.
Secret society.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of investing money in banks, we invest in Sega Saturn video games.
So, what are your guys' favorite Nintendo video games? What comes to your mind when we say Nintendo?
Whenever people ask me what my favorite game is, I always try to drill down deeper. If they're a collector, and if they're just like a random aunt, mom type character, I'm going to stick with Super Mario 3.
Okay.
But, the drill down for me is, what time of day is it? What kind of emotional gaming experience are you looking for? And how many people are involved? Sometimes, the polarity will really shift. If you're feeling like you're in a great mood, might not be the best time for, ruining friendships with Mario Party.
Yeah. Awesome. How about you, Will?
I feel like, you need to break it down. When we're talking Nintendo, we're talking Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and then we break it down even further. Action RPG, first-person perspective RPG or platformer. But in terms of me, personal favorite Nintendo game, I'm going to have to go with the Nintendo Star Tropics.
Okay.
Because that game broke. I love stuff that breaks the fourth wall, like Deadpool breaking the fourth wall in his movies and things like that. Star Tropics, you got an envelope from your character's uncle telling you come to my island and hang out with me. And eventually you find out he's abducted by aliens. Spoiler alert. But you take the letter, you dip the letter, and there's a hidden message in the letter telling you, I'm being watched by the stars, no one is safe, trust no one, use code blah 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 to find me. And I'm like, that just blew my childhood mind because the game told me something to do, and I run to my mother the game told me to put something in the water. And she's I don't know what to do. Can I do that? Did I just break something? And she's like, I don't know. What are you doing here?
That's great.
So, yeah.
That is fantastic.
So what does 8-Bit Evolution do in general?
So we make new games for old consoles.
Uh-huh.
That's our core focus. So we have 6 launch titles in queue right now that we'll be releasing one a month the next few months here. We've been in business for 6 years, 6 and 6. But thus far, we haven't released more than any games officially as 8-Bit. We've programmed and developed games for other people.
Yeah.
But, so this is our first, it's our calendar year coming up, so we're all pretty excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw you had a super long coming soon page with all these progress meters on the games.
It did very well because it seems like we have to choose every day between social media and updating the page or actually finishing the games.
Yeah.
You can only get so much done in a day.
Seriously. And you guys saw that there was a market for new games on old consoles?
Yeah, so we travel to 50 plus conventions each year. It's anime conventions and Comic Cons to video game and retro themed events. We have our own local meetup type things. We promote the Pittsburgh Retro Gaming Convention.
Nice.
So we're in about 200 independent retail stores that we've already sold some copies of Germ Squashers to for people to have and cherish, hopefully sell to their customers.
Yeah.
Holy cow. So, obviously, when you go on your website, you see that you guys, at a core, you do the new games for old consoles, but it seems like you guys do a lot more than that. So, what part of the business has really taken off the most? Is it the old or the new games, or is it this other refurbishing stuff that you guys do?
Yeah, so my core focus every day is I own a electronics refurbishment company. Okay. So we receive by proxy a lot of consumer overflow, and most of it is
like commodity recyclables, but I can never see Nintendo shredded. So we'll take like them all, shred it, and nurse it back to health. So we do a lot of refurbishment. I started specifically with handhelds because I just love handhelds, and that they're small footprint, easy to repair. I'm pretty sure that Game Boys could be repurposed as bullets, and they would be effective. They're incredibly hard to destroy. I've seen them run over a bad screen. Those motherboards just slip right in with a new screen at work.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you guys saw the one that came out of the war, right? It had been fragged and it was operational.
Yeah, we have 3 that I keep at the warehouse right now, and it's I have a Sega Genesis that's really chopped in half, so I'm running over it, and it still plays. And then I have a Super Nintendo that's missing the entire bottom, held together by some screws and some buttons up front. It still plays.
It's 1/3 complete.
Yeah. And then I found it was a DMG 01 that was just shredded, yellowed, smashed. It still plays. The screen's a little dead, of course, but those retro game consoles really last. If I look upset at my Xbox 360, I feel like it'll just red ring me for sport.
All right. Well, I have a few more questions about the process of making games for older consoles. So, James, on the development side, what is that like? And you said you're planning on releasing one a month. So does that mean
we have a pretty great team. We're 2/3 remote, 1/3 local.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So our Slack channel is very busy. I had trouble turning it off. Really half because different time zones. Some of our guys that are in Russia,
oh my
they don't
goodness.
like talking at a normal EST time.
Yeah.
But yeah, our best team members are certainly on a day-to-day basis shifting. They're all contributing in different capacity and different timelines. So we have 2 guys that are really good at assembly, and we have a handful of guys that are very effective in C for the C compiler we use. We have a few guys who just specialize in working in SGDK, which is a Genesis compiler. And our lead designer is Andrew. So Andrew's local. He's a full-time every day. By the way, most of the contractors that we work with in our team, they're full-time employed by us.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
They're daily committing and cross their fingers that we keep on finding a way to take our unique medium and find a very scalable, sustainable platform for it. But the early indicators is that there's an expansive enthusiast market if you can make a game that's fun, no matter what we make it for.
Mm-hmm.
We have a game called Viking Democracy we're going to be releasing in about 2 weeks, and it's Towerfall inspired. It's the easiest way when you're explaining a retro game is to say it's blah 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 inspired, and then tell you what's different. It's that type of fighter. I don't want you to think fighter and think Mortal Kombat. So we have the Viking Democracy coming out, and this is something that we want to always have from a core, foundational standpoint. I want people who don't collect or play retro games to play and see one of our games and want to buy a retro console.
Yeah.
So when we have them playing at a booth at a convention, or whenever we have people stop by our building for a tour for university, I want the kids to leave. I already have Amazon open on their phone to buy a Sega Genesis or buy a Super Nintendo.
Cool. So, Will, how do you market to these gamers, and how do you appeal to them? The older people that are retro fans.
It's interesting because, as he said, it's an easy way to get some of the older and the new generations to get them together.
Yeah.
It's to create something as you said, it's Towerfall inspired. That's usually the best introductory way because people Towerfall is an awesome multiplayer party game, and even by yourself, it's great. So putting things together like that in that perspective, it makes it a little bit easier to bridge the gap. And then people...
it sounds so lonely when you add in the subtext. It's even good by yourself.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, but I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, do you want to play later?
There's a back of the box quote for you. It's even good by yourself.
Yes, I do want to play later. But it's great because you can then, as he's mentioned before, like people were like, if only I would have kept my Sega Genesis, or if only I would have kept my Sega Super Nintendo. And then we're like, well, we always have like a comeback for like, well, you can easily find them online, or you can easily like get what they call like the Retron or like the combo systems, which do pretty well on their own. But it's just a fun way to like bring the two together. And in terms of, like the marketing standpoint, is like you got to find a way to attract both audiences. Mm-hmm. And so because retro's coming back. I mean, we see all these games that are out now. A lot of them Kickstarter campaigns that are like very retro, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Master System inspired. And like Minecraft, I feel was a good jumping off point to see a lot of like these old like they don't have to be visually arresting to be great games and for people to actually pick up and take an interest.
Yeah.
You know what? A thing we're trying to like bottle up. So we've decided there are many, but there are two specific archetypes of customers at a convention, and one of them that I'm trying to get a good like snapshot on. We haven't named them yet. We named the teeth sucker. The teeth sucker is when the money is cost too much money. They're like, second archetype. They pick the game up and they hold it and they're like, I don't have a Super Nintendo. It's super common. So one of the things we want to do is for a pack-in is release like a card that they can like a mail-in type thing, or we're gonna give away like a ton of those mock-up Yobo Super Nintendo NES like players. Because the wholesale cost is like $10 a piece. So I think if we can pair it up with 50% 8-bit and 50% sponsorship, it would be a cool way to push our stuff out there faster to a bigger audience than the people we're able to infect as they walk by proxy.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's like a great, like the idea of like sponsorship and like people getting into video games. And because like for me, like a marketing advertising standpoint, like how can we make our products stand out? Our products are video games. So I mean, like that we have something that actually is interactive for people can hold in their hands. They see the result on the screen and like they're actually interacting with it. And like people want that kind of interaction exposure. So if you find the right people who want to help sponsor it, or you find the people who like, hey, I like what you're doing here. Can we get our name in this video game? Can we get our logo in this game? And they're like, sure, yes.
Yeah.
And so the idea is like a lot of like it's very easy, especially living like in a city atmosphere, to find companies who are eager and who want to jump on something as like,
especially at our price point. We're like, you're like $100. You want a logo somewhere? We try to make it like low barrier right now as we're ramping up the different projects. We give one more note about sponsorship and about new development. So one of the games that we're doing right now, it's kind of shifting our model. It's a game as a fundraiser. So they're a local metal themed coffee shop. I don't know if you guys are into metal music or not.
Not too much.
It's not really my jam, but it's definitely my video game. So it's like we have a very basic storyline that we came up with the owners. They were vendors at our convention this year, and I said, I have an idea for you guys, because they talked about raising their Indigo and everything they're doing to try to get by as a bootstrap startup. I'm like, you're preaching to the choir, man. I know what you're dealing with. There's got to be a way we can combine forces, because I'm sure people who drink a lot of coffee and pastries will want to play some games.
Oh yeah.
So we discussed setting up little kiosks in the shop or things like that. But next thing you know, we were just talking about making a game for them. So here's the premise. So aliens have come down and they're stealing all metal music and all things caffeine and coffee oriented. Because that's what they do. So, and it's a beat 'em up. So it's the enemies are anything that is not metal. So like country music fans. There's like a jock archetype that I felt personally bothered by. There's like a really interesting like senior citizen couples and like demonic eyes.
Oh, I know those.
And, there's like, five levels, pretty simple. We have like predominantly local art, so PNC Park, like a local outlook for us, like near the center of the city for Pittsburgh, and it's going to be a cool thing because we've already had enough early adopters to jump on and sponsor parts. That this is the first time ever that we're going to break even with the game before we sold a copy.
Woo! Well, congratulations.
Do my own,
Awesome. Well,
as far as that goes, I'd be I'd be happy to throw you guys into some type of like Muppet, old guys talking up above, and like cameo someone before we even achieve.
That would be so cool. I always wanted to be a Muppet.
Be like $200 or so, we can really make it happen.
Hey, we'll raise the money.
Like a certain level or something, like not even in this one, but a future game, like they're the fourth wall breakers. Like, oh yeah, knock down that barrel and get a health part.
There's a really cool thing about gamifying anything you like is you can find endless variables.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So much potential with that.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you've got to plug a few things. Is there anything else coming up for you that people need to know about?
Well, there are 2 other games that we're having a lot of fun making that are worth bringing up. So one of them's super simple gameplay, but the art is just so beautiful, and I think the game concept is so funny. I do want to bring it up. So there's a game. It's Frogger inspired, but it gets much better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Stay Fat, Stay Fit. So like your Frogger style gameplay, but as you pick up donuts, you get fatter, slower, and you can't swim. As you pick up dumbbells and protein shakes, it's the opposite. You know, you get a little faster.
All right.
You know, and you can only go into a gym if you're a fit guy, and you only go into a coffee shop if you're a fat guy. But if you go to professional buildings, you get like invincibility and like mega fat, mega fit. Like cars move them, or you know, cars hit you when you're fat and they bounce off.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
The game we've been working on and off since we started that we just never got around to finishing because it's never been a priority. And one of our designers, Harry, who's very talented, really nice guy, and flexible with us as we were super micro growing, took the lead on creating the graphics for it. The side profile graphics are beautiful. I love them. And the other one is a game that Will and I came up with, and it's currently going with a working title of like Super Wig Fighter or Powdered Wig Fighter.
He was telling us about that.
Like if you just go ahead and do a Google images search on powdered wigs, you'll see how the inspiration takes place.
Oh yeah.
It just blossoms naturally.
There's so much insane. I love Capcom fighters. They're
Yes.
like a great you know, the art really is what I loved about it. I personally like playing Mortal Kombat, but I just always loved the art for Capcom. And we wanted to do something like that had a good kind of push. And I don't know how or why we were looking at powdered wigs, but you know, it only took a couple seconds for me to fall in love with them.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. I love how you guys can work on so many games at once. How you can just take whatever crazy idea you want to and put it in a cartridge. That's so cool. So
That is really
we're
awesome.
looking forward to all those things.
We are indeed. So you guys have a website. Where can we find you guys online?
So 8bitevolution.com. Not revolution, it's evolution, EVO.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you guys for joining us.
doing what you do and for finding us. It's awesome to have you on our show.
Absolutely.
And
Us video game guys have to stick together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know.
It's a brotherhood.
It's a vicious world out there. We gotta huddle together around our TVs, our CRTs. All right. Well,
Thanks, guys.
yeah, absolutely.
Thanks
Thanks for coming.
for joining us.